Good morning, guys. It is Dave from the Fitness Formula. It's Wednesday lunchtime nearly, and I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. I thought instead of going down the whole mindset route and talk about goals and lifestyle and behavior change and programs that we do and how we help people, I thought I'd do something a bit more informative today and actually approach a certain subject, which is obviously a common one with a lot of people. And I like a drink myself, so please, whatever you think, whenever you do watch this, and don't think that I'm ever having a go at anyone. I will happily have a couple of drinks at the weekend myself, and sometimes that can turn into more, and then you regret it the next day and the day after. So certainly an advocate of that myself. But this is all about the long-term effects of alcohol, because we always see it in the media, on the telly, and in the news about how we need to limit and monitor the amount we drink, but it's so easy to fall into bad habits, especially if you're a sociable person or even if you're not a sociable person. And with lockdowns, a lot of people turn to alcohol a lot more. We certainly increased the amount of alcohol we were drinking in that first lockdown. We got a lazy spire like the rest of them, sat in there and had a few bottles of wine a week, and that was far more than the average. I mean, to give you an idea, I'll probably have maybe a couple of bottles of beer on a Friday night just to relax at the end of the week, and maybe share a bottle of wine on a Saturday night with the wife, or we'll go out for a meal, or if we socialize, if we're going on a night out, a birthday, you guarantee it's going to be a lot more than just a bottle of wine. But this is what happens. But some people do drink, unfortunately, more than the recommended amount. So this is really kind of just to re-educate everybody on the long-term effects of alcohol. I'm going to list quite a few things here. I've got it written down just to remind myself, because otherwise we'll forget certain things, but also then tell you what you should be aiming for. And it'd be interesting to know if you kind of sit within the NHS guidelines of what you should be drinking, or if you're way out of it, and it might just be a little wake-up call for some people. And reading this today and doing my research before this live opened my eyes, actually, and it's quite shocking the amount of side effects that drinking alcohol long-term can have on our bodies, physically and mentally. So I'm going to just work through the list and go into each one of them. So I think a real big one at the moment for a lot of people is mental health. When I speak to people about their goals, a lot of people are prioritizing now their mental health, which I think is an amazing goal. I think that should be really the priority for most people. A lot of people that we help feel better instantly. They feel better before they look better. And that's really important, that you feel better. And mental health is a massive thing at the moment. But anxiety and mood swings and mood change and depression, all those things can actually come from just drinking too much alcohol. And I'm not talking about drinking from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to sleep either. I'm talking about drinking regularly throughout the week. 3 or 4 lots of alcohol an evening throughout the course of the week certainly stacks up, and that can massively affect mental health and especially anxiety. Second one would be insomnia and other sleep problems for those who drink alcohol before sleep. So they reckon anyone that drinks alcohol within 4 hours of going to sleep will actually have a worse night's sleep, and this is scientifically proven, by the way, than those that drink caffeine within 4 hours before bed. Even worse for those that smoke nicotine. So if people smoke and drink alcohol before bed, chances are you're not going to fall into a deep sleep cycle. And that can be really detrimental to people's health physically, again, psychologically, mentally. And for those that are exercising, who are trying to lose weight or actively trying to change their body shape, their body fat percentage, get healthier, by drinking alcohol before bed, not having a deep night's sleep can actually lead to not burning as much fat at night time, and also recovery wise. So if you're training regularly, you're in the gym regularly, you're aching and you're sore, your body won't recover as well if you're not in a deep sleep cycle, and that can be affected by drinking alcohol, even a bottle of beer or a glass of wine within 4 hours of going to sleep. So that was a real wake-up call when I read that one today. And a good one, sexual function and libido can work both ways, but a lot of people do see the side effects quite instantly with too much alcohol, but also long-term can lead to people actually losing their sex drive, which is something that nobody wants. So I'll move past that one. Appetite and weight gain. So some people, when they drink alcohol, it suppresses their appetite. So when you're drinking all the time, you actually fill yourself up on alcohol, and then you're not going to necessarily eat the right things, or you're not going to fancy food at all. Short term, we always fancy something fatty, something naughty. If we've been drinking alcohol, you're not going to want a salad, you're going to want a kebab, maybe a little bit of salad that goes in there, some packet of crisps, something like that. The next day you crave salt, you crave bacon. The side effects go on short term, but also massively long term. That can actually lead to sufficient weight gain. So by not eating regularly throughout the day because you've lost your appetite, and then, for example, having one big meal at night time, our body stores that fat. It doesn't burn it off because it stores it, because it knows that the next time it gets food is probably another 24 hours time, not 12 hours time, which is what it should be. So our body starts to store fat. Goes back to the caveman days. We didn't eat for days on end, so our bodies used to hold on to and store what we did consume instead of actually burning it off. So if anything, we're lowering our metabolism, or our metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories we burn at rest. We are lowering that by drinking too much alcohol. And then we move on to more the physical ones, and this is the scary stuff. Before we get that, concentration and memory. Certainly people that drink too much, then memory loss is quite, well, we see it, don't we? We see people that drink a lot do forget their memory. I actually forgot the word. That sounds bad, didn't it? I forgot the word I was looking for as I said that. But concentration and memory loss, and then we move on to the physical, liver damage. So liver breaks down and removes toxins from the body, and this results in potentially life-threatening conditions, and this fails to remove toxins and waste from our body, which again can lead to weight gain because we're not getting that rubbish out of our system. And not getting toxins out of your body will make you just feel rubbish, lethargic, tired, and all the other side effects of that as well. Sugar levels will rise. Obviously, there's a lot of sugar in alcohol, especially wine and things like that, and beer and cider and spirits. Pretty much any alcohol will be very high in sugar, and this can lead to type 2 diabetes. So not the diabetes you're born with. This will come later on in life, and the problem with that is you then have to rely on bringing in insulin manually. So you'll see the EpiPens and things like that, bringing the insulin pens, is because of people that are type 2 diabetic, and you don't want to be relying on insulin manually for the rest of your life. Digestive system. So damage to the digestive system, you'll damage the tissue, preventing the digestion of food, which again will lead to weight gain, and also not absorbing the right nutrients and vitamins that our body needs to function properly. So that's another side effect, the physical one. The circulatory system, so our heart and lungs will be affected from too much alcohol, high blood pressure, the risk of stroke, heart attack, heart disease, and heart failure. Yeah, the worst one out of all of them, just from drinking too much alcohol. Nearly there, guys. There's still a few to go. Bone density will thin with too much alcohol, and that's really, really dangerous. You will most likely fracture bones more likely if you fall over, and that will also not support you properly, so you'll end up with all sorts of pains in your joints, arthritis, and also muscle weakness. So if you're somebody that exercises regularly because you're trying to build strength, especially as we age, our bone density does get thinner, our muscles do get weaker. By drinking too much alcohol, we're only excelling that. So we need to make sure that we're not drinking too much alcohol if you're training and exercising regularly and you've got a specific goal, especially if that goal is weight training and building strength, because you will make your muscles weaker, which again goes back to recovery, more likely to get injuries and long-term problems from exercise if we're drinking too much alcohol. Immune system, massive with COVID and everything. You're more likely to develop things like COVID and illnesses and flu, but also pneumonia. More likely to get pneumonia if you've got a weak immune system from alcohol. And also the cancer risk is a lot higher for people that drink too much alcohol, throat cancer and things like that, liver. And I spoke about mental health as well, because I'm going to pretty much end with that one. Depression, anxiety, lack of sleep, which we know causes all sorts of problems. Bipolar disorder as well, all related to drinking too much alcohol. A big thing as well about people that drink alcohol, one thing that they always say, especially when you go abroad, especially when you go on holiday, if you're drinking alcohol throughout the day, which I will on holiday start drinking alcohol from lunchtime, like most people, but people then stop drinking water. So the real sensible ones, you'll see them, they'll have a glass of wine and a glass of water, especially in a hot country when you're sweating more, you're more dehydrated. You should be drinking more water anyway on holiday. But if you're drinking alcohol, chances are you're not drinking water. And we know that that's when we really do feel absolutely terrible the next day. And that's what a hangover essentially is. We're dehydrated. So if you're drinking alcohol, just remember to have that glass of water on the side as well. And that's something I certainly try and do at the weekends if I am drinking alcohol. So this is the recommendations, guys. And this is quite important to see where you sit on the scale. This is the NHS recommendations, not my own. So they recommend that you generally don't drink more than 14 units of alcohol a week. So across a 3-day period or more, so not in one sitting, so really spread over 3 days or more, you should be having 14 units of alcohol, no more than that. And that equates to 6 medium glasses of wine, or roughly 6 pints of beer, but the beer would have to be around 4%, which is quite a weak beer. So if it's a stronger beer than that, or stronger cider or something, then chances are it's probably only going to be about 4 or 5 pints. So do I feel like I'm having more than that across a week? I would say bang on, roughly. Myself personally, I reckon about bang on. By the time I add it up, I'm probably having 2 or 3 beers at the weekend and maybe half a bottle, if not more, depending on the mood. Valentine's, we actually had 2 bottles of wine Saturday night, but that's rare. If you go out, you drink more. So probably about the bang on with the guidelines myself. What about you? You don't have to tell me how much you drink. Are you above that line? Are you below that line? Do you drink alcohol? Are you someone that used to drink more, now you don't? Get involved, guys. Comment below. And I hope this has been really helpful. If you know anybody that needs to hear this that you might want to share that with, don't get yourself in trouble, but feel free to share and tag them in. But answer the questions that I've just asked, get a bit into it. And I'll see you guys soon. Let me know if you need any help with